is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
There's summer, and then there's Murphy's in the summer. Nothing beats it. The food, the drinks, the atmosphere. Whether you're soaking up sunshine on the patio or hanging inside with friends, Murphy's brings the good vibes all season long. Amazing food, cold beers, summer cocktails, live music on the patio, a crew that treats you right, and yes, even a late-night menu every Friday and Saturday night. When you're thinking summer in Rapid City, there's only one move, Murphy's. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com. Murphy's, a Rapid City icon.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Quick update from the U.S. Open as ace-seeded American Amanda Anisimova just upset Iga Swiatek to advance to the semifinals of the women's draw in Queens. She'll face the winner of the Naomi Osaka-Karolina Muchova match coming up in a little bit. In Major League Baseball, the Red Sox place outfielder Roman Anthony on the injured list because of a tight oblique, while the Dodgers are pushing Shohei Ohtani's start on the mound back to this weekend against the Orioles because he's dealing with an illness. The Orioles right now are on top of the Padres 7-2 in the 6th inning in San Diego. Diamondbacks lead the Rangers 2-0 in the 8th inning. Packers edge rusher Micah Parsons limited in practice today, while Cowboys corner Trayvon Diggs and left tackle Tyler Guyton are off the injury report and will play against Philadelphia. Jets tackle Elijah Vera Tucker could miss the entire 2025 season after tearing his triceps muscle in practice on Tuesday. NFL Network says he's getting a second opinion. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. We're ready to go back and at it on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. The Nate Brown Show is live. Welcome in. It's always a great day in South Dakota. How are you doing? Hopefully solid. Let's get going on the drive home this Wednesday. The Nate Brown Show is live, Fox Sports Radio. Thanks to our affiliates across the state. Welcome in on Twitter as well. Stream us live at Nate Brown Show. So follow us on X. Watch the show live at Nate Brown Show. YouTube channel is live, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. One more place, Midwest Sports Plus. You can stream us there. Off and running on this Wednesday. What do I have for you tonight? Good stuff, so hang with us. We have Dan Jackson coming up tonight, South Dakota State head football coach. Jackson with a big win in his opener against Sacramento State. I think they dominated. Really could have won that, I think, by a lot more. So we'll talk about week one and then on to Montana State. This is the biggest FCS matchup, top 5 teams, the big deal in Bozeman Saturday night. Dan Jackson on tonight from Brookings before they head out to Bozeman. We'll talk to Coach Jackson, talk Jacks football. We will go to Iowa. It's the Cy-Hawk rivalry. You got Iowa State, Iowa this weekend. Mark Gronowski's debut didn't go great. They still beat Albany. Now it's Iowa State for Gronowski and the Hawkeyes. We'll talk to Eliot Clough, brand new guest on tonight. HawkeyeInsider for 24/7 Sports. Eliot Clough on the Iowa State-Iowa matchup straight ahead. FCS senior analyst is in, Sam Herder. He's going to make his prediction. I've got him today. He covers the FCS as good as anybody. Sam Herder's on tonight making his prediction for Montana State, South Dakota State. Which way Sam going? We'll get him from Hero Sports coming up. And Brian Noe, live from Las Vegas. Brian Noe, countdown host on Fox Sports Radio, talking some ball, college football to the NFL with The Noe Show. Brian Noe is in tonight on The Nate Brown Show. Questions of the day ready to go. Let's get locked and loaded here. Get you on the show if you want in. 605-720-1067, the direct line. That's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch. Stop by East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Brandon as well. Great location there. And Pizza Ranch in Rapid City. Home of everyone's favorite buffet. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, the place. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline for you, 605-720-1067. We'll get you there. Barron's Wilson text line open and ready, 605-720-1067. Same number, but you can text us on the Barron's Wilson text line. All right, we got it straight. What's happening on this Wednesday? We got a lot to cover tonight, including 5 questions from Chris. Our loyal listener, Chris, sends me 5. And then we got the big preview show for the NFL tomorrow night. We'll be live at BetMGM Sportsbook, the king of sportsbooks, Fox Sports Radio, #1 sportsbook, BetMGM Sportsbook, Tin Lizzie, Main Street, Deadwood. We'll be doing the show live tomorrow for Eagles, Cowboys, NFL kickoff, all of our NFL predictions and the good stuff. And our guest host, Rob Kegron's going to join us for a little happy hour, a little double dip tomorrow from Deadwood. So Rob Kegron will be on tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Tonight's tonight. And I got to clear some stuff up today, okay? I just want to clear some stuff up because I see that people have reacted to some of the guests that we've had on the show the last couple of weeks. And so people have been talking about this, and that's good. It's good stuff to think about it and have some thought-provoking stuff. That's kind of what we try to do, not Hot Take Central. So think about what's the best plan moving forward and how would this all come together. So I wanted to kind of open that up tonight. What we've talked about on this show the last couple of weeks. We've had 2 guests that have kind of made a splash here. Tom Berman, University of Wyoming Athletic Director, talking about the FBS teams, the Mountain West, and maybe there's a future for some FCS teams like South Dakota State to join the Wyomings and others in the FBS. That was 2 weeks ago. Got a ton of reaction, ton of content. People discussed that. Well, then it went to South Dakota State last week. I had Justin Sell on this show last week, and I asked him to react to what Tom Berman said. How does it really look for South Dakota State if they were thinking about what if the Mountain West comes calling? Would the FBS be an option? Do you see a future with the Wyomings and the FBS teams with South Dakota State? Justin Sell, a little more cautious. Justin Sell last week was, well, we just want to make sure we have good competition. However this lines out, we got to be ready. We love the Missouri Valley. We just need to be ready to have great competition. And he respects Wyoming's AD and his thoughts there, but a little more cautious. Well, now people are discussing this like South Dakota State, since we'll have Dan Jackson on tonight. People are discussing this like if South Dakota State jumps to the FBS, this is going to be the worst move you could make. Look at where South Dakota State's at. They got power in the FCS. They're winning national titles. They're competing amongst the best of the best. They are a top program. The fan base is growing and growing. The sponsorships, the revenue, the following's great. Don't go to the FBS and screw everything up. That's what people are saying. I'm seeing this. So I just want to, let's take a step back here, you Jacks fans. I'm not telling you that the Jacks are going to go to the FBS tomorrow. Wyoming's athletic director's not saying the Jacks are going to go to the FBS tomorrow. Nobody, I don't think you would say, hey, we need to do this now. Nobody's really saying that. What I've always been saying on this program, and I see a future, I said within 5 years. It's just a guess. I'm seeing how things are changing in college football and the whole thing. There is going to be a time where some great FBS programs, and I say great, won't be able to compete even in the same stratosphere as the elite programs. So there is going to be a time where FCS football changes. The FCS model looks a lot different than it even does now. That's what's going to happen. And when I say South Dakota State should be ready, when I say USD needs to work to be ready, it's not tomorrow to jump to the FBS. It's not, yeah, let's go there right now, pay the $5 million fee to jump, start working our way in. Let's go there right now and just try and do it no matter what, like Sacramento State. Like, let's jump there like Missouri State right now. I'm not saying that. I haven't said that. I have said within this transition, this is a PSA for all the FBS, FCS arguments that people make. Well, South Dakota State would be foolish to jump to the FBS. Look at what some of these programs, they don't get notoriety. They don't get anything. They're just go to this no-name bowl and you forget about them. They don't have a fan following. I mean, I hear all of this, but what I'm telling you is the FCS is going to change, and you better be ready when the Montana schools, the North Dakota states, if that happens, South Dakota State, and yes, I'll throw in USD. They've got a little road to climb. USD's not quite at an SDSU level, but they got to be ready too. You just have to be ready to make that jump. You have to be ready. And so this isn't an either or. It's like South Dakota State, stay in the FCS. You can't go to the FBS. There's going to be a change. I really believe that. And now that Wyoming's athletic director was on this show a couple of weeks ago and said he sees a future in the long run where these schools could be together and have to make some decisions, you, of course, don't want South Dakota State to stay in a much different FCS level when there's now another level of college football. So we're all on the same page. I don't think we need to rush in and say, man, we got to stay FCS. Why would we go to the FBS and be a no-name program now and everybody's forgotten about the Sam Houston States of the world? You don't have to do it right now. You just have to be ready right now. You have to be ready right now. By the way, I want to get into this. Because I feel like this is, maybe it's my emotional connection to it, but I want to be as fair as I can be. And I'll throw out a question of the day. Let's shift gears to a South Dakota guy, and he is in the crosshairs right now. I mean, he is in the crosshairs. Kalen DeBoer, our South Dakota guy, he's been on this show. He's very pleasant, very nice guy. He's had a great career. He's won wherever he's been, and now he's in the crosshairs of the national media, and I get that comes with the territory of Alabama and being the head coach at Alabama. But I do want to ask this question of the day, okay? I do want to ask this question of the day. Is Kalen DeBoer being unfairly scrutinized by the media after one game? Because I'm seeing everybody's talking about it, from CBS Sports to On3 Sports to ESPN, and this happens quite a bit now. The media grabs on to one guy, one story that's got to be a big brand, so it's like Alabama. And the world's on fire. You would think Kalen DeBoer will never recover. They're already talking about firing. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my South Dakota connection. Probably because I like Kalen. Maybe that's the case, but I'm trying to see this fairly. I think we could see a little bit different. Am I the only guy left that thinks this is an overreaction? I mean, to one game? Well, no, they struggled last year too. No. Hang on a second. They got clipped a couple of games they shouldn't have. They got, the Vanderbilt games, some of these games they shouldn't have. But this is the start of the second year, and people have said, oh, the program's out of control, and whatever Kalen talks about, he was on an SEC media call today, his answers weren't good enough. And, I mean, everybody, and this is what happens with the narrative. People get a narrative going, and then guys can hardly survive it. So you're going to say, well, he just has to win. Well, how much? What's going to be good enough in Alabama for Kalen DeBoer? Is it good enough that he makes the college football playoff? That's my question, because I'm not so sure anymore. They already have the narrative. He's just not the right fit. I mean, I'm seeing this the last 3 days. And I think it's, to me, an overreaction. Everybody's already just painting the narrative, saying this, saying that. I don't think some people have a clue. And everybody can go on and on and on. Kalen DeBoer, you hear that, just not the right fit. A good coach, a nice guy, just not the right fit. And I think it's a big overreaction after game one. I'm probably the only guy left in the media mob. I think Kalen DeBoer, look out. I'm not bailing on Alabama. I'm not bailing on him at all. I think Kalen DeBoer is competitive as heck. And I'm telling you, nice guy. I'm thinking they're going to come out guns a-blazing. I really hope so the rest of the season. But I don't know what's good enough anymore. The media gets the narrative going. And I'm telling you, this is hard to survive. Anything you say, anything you do. Did they win by enough? Oh, did they advance in the college football playoff? Are they going to win a national championship? You don't know where that Alabama program was at. By the way, it was on the downslide as Nick Saban was heading out. They weren't winning national championships, by the way. So I may be the only guy, the emotional connection. I'm rooting for Kalen DeBoer, so maybe I'm missing it. But I think the media mob is on a takedown, and they target, this is how they do it a lot. They target one player, one coach, and that's the story, and then it's hard to even survive even after you start winning. Even after you start winning. Is Kalen DeBoer getting a raw deal in the media? That's what I'd like to know. My question of the day. South Dakota sports fans, you give me your honest take on that. I mean, if you're following it like I am, I'm in the social media world. I hate being there. I have to be. But I'm seeing everybody talking, discussing. It's just nonstop. I mean, they're talking, well, what's the buyout? And, well, the buyout's almost $70 million, but Alabama could do it because it's monthly payments instead of a lump sum, so they might be able to do this. It's like, can we let the guy coach? I mean, they were talking about how they would do the buyout and how it might make sense. It's one game. Let me see what you say. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. Is Kalen DeBoer getting a raw deal from the media after only one game? Is Kalen DeBoer getting a raw deal after only one game? I think the media is just taking this and running with it. In the world that we live in, you got to have something on your shows on First Take. You got to have something on your shows on Get Up. You got it's just, let's do a segment on this. Kalen DeBoer, just not the right fit. Okay, guys, go. That's how it works today. There's no nuance. There's no thoughts. It's just hot takes. Kalen DeBoer, he's not quite going to cut it. Let's give him a little more room. That's all I'm asking. I'll come back on the show here in South Dakota Sports Talk Show and say, if Kalen fizzles out and it's a mess, Alabama will take care of that. I mean, you guys know this. I believe that's not going to be the case. And everybody's saying he's lost control already, just doesn't have it. Too nice of a guy. How did he win all these other places? I mean, we act like this is the first opportunity that's he's had to kind of get things going. He's won at a lot of places. Let's take a step back a little bit. One game. There's one game. 56% of you are voting today saying, yes, the media is being unfair. 56% the media is being unfair. 44%, no, it's Alabama. You got to win. 44%, it's Alabama. You got to win. Listener text, DeBoer was set up to fail because he wasn't from that Saban tree and is an outsider. Listener text, going back to the FCS discussion. Nate, love the show, but why don't you ever add UND in the mix when you talk football? That's a good question. By the way, look at what UND did. I saw that against K-State. I saw that. Here's how it goes. Most people discuss SDSU, NDSU in the same category, and we know why. They've been in that rivalry game and really, really good. USD starting to get there. UND inconsistent. So what I believe by this, though, here's what I will say. People will argue with me and say, well, USD can't go FBS. UND can't go FBS. They aren't ready. I disagree with that. So that UND fan that sent that message in, when I talk about the Dakota schools, I do reference the Jacks and the Bison a ton. Those are the two elite FCS programs. But UND and USD will also need to be ready. I do not see North Dakota State and South Dakota State just going, hey, we got a Mountain West invite, we're out. I mean, they could, but I think you have to have the in-state games. You have to have the in-state institution rivalries, the like institutions. You're not going to have SDSU do their own thing and USD do something else, if we're all honest. But all those institutions are in different spots. Donor fundraising, support, athletic investment, they're in different spots. The UND hockey program's been at an entirely different level than everyone else, right? So when I say Dakota schools, that's who I mean, all four, and the Montana schools. They aren't going FBS tomorrow, but they all should be ready. There's no doubt to me. Coming right back, Brian Noe is on as we get going, countdown host on Fox Sports Radio. I'll ask him about Kalen DeBoer. He doesn't have a dog in the fight. He's not a South Dakota guy. Brian Noe from Fox Sports Radio, live from Vegas, coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterpark.com.
Football season is almost here, and we're throwing a huge kickoff party in the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Thursday, September 4th is the official start to pro football action, and we'll have games, prizes, great food, cold drinks, and even the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Enjoy the BetMGM Sportsbook with wall-to-wall televisions, comfortable and spacious seating, and personal live audio streamed right to your phone. Kick off your season right with the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, where it's always game on.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A wind advisory begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow and continues until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Partly cloudy tonight with lows around 52. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, high of 82. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, lows level off around 45. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 66.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is back on Wednesday edition of the program from South Dakota and beyond. Good stuff across the board. Dan Jackson's coming up, head coach, South Dakota State football. They're at Montana State, the biggest FCS game in the country, no doubt. Top 5 matchup, Jacks at Bobcats Saturday night. We'll talk to Coach Jackson after the opening win over a tough Sacramento State team. Boy, they were. Anyway, all right. Brian Noe's on tonight from Vegas. He hosts Countdown right here on Fox Sports Radio. It is the real week now. NFL Countdown with Brian Noe this weekend. Are you ready on Fox Sports Radio? Brian, welcome on. How are you?
I'm great, Nate Brown. You know, life is worth living again with ball being back. How lovely is this? We got a full slate coming up starting Thursday. It's beautiful.
I love it. I want to hit a couple of college football hitters from you, and then I'll move to the NFL. So I'm looking at Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. He's a South Dakota guy. He's been on this show, so I've got ties to him. I'm trying to see if I'm looking at this with South Dakota flavor too much. But it's one game, and I already see the media mob is absolutely – I mean, they're already talking about, well, how could they buy this out? They might be able to buy him out. They might be able to get rid of him. Can we give Kalen DeBoer a little bit more time, or is this legit?
It's somewhere in between, Nate. You know, it sounds like a very weenie answer, but it really is in between where, you know, you look at the one side where the crowd with pitchforks and they're ready to get him out of there as quickly as possible. We'll put together $70 million and buy this bum out. You know, that's what they're saying right now. I think that is extreme, and I hear your point where you got to give it a little bit of time. But the opposite of that is not only did they lose to Florida State as a 14-point favorite, they lost to 3 unranked teams last season as well. They lost as a double-digit favorite. They've lost 4 times now as a double-digit favorite under Kalen DeBoer. So it's not like he's, you know, going at LSU and they lose a close game to a tough team, or, you know, they're at Georgia or something like that. They're losing to Vanderbilt and a terrible Oklahoma team last season, and Florida State off a 2-10 season last year. That's who he's losing to. So I get hey, let's give it a little bit of time. But at the same time, it's like, this is not even close to the standard that Alabama fans are used to and what they saw with that last regime, the Nick Saban era. And, he shouldn't be expected to win titles out of the gate, but at a bare minimum, you should beat Vanderbilt and Florida State, you know, and he's not doing that. And they're getting punked. They're getting pushed around. So I get some of the venom, even though I think it does, to your point, go a little bit over the top. But some of that venom is warranted because he's just not getting it done so far.
Here's a guy to think about. Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame, goes to LSU. That was a slow start there at LSU. Lost opening games left and right. Couldn't win the thing with Jaden Daniels. I mean, Brian Kelly, he didn't set the world on fire at LSU. Lost some big games. They're hanging with him. That's who I related to. LSU wants high expectations, but I think it's just a different spot. Kalen took over for Nick Saban, and he's getting hit. Now, Brian Kelly, I'm just telling you, hasn't maybe won as much as he should have.
No, it's a good comparison. I like that, Nate. But the thing is, and this is what Kalen DeBoer has to do, he's got to do what Brian Kelly just did. What is that? That is stem the tide, Nate Brown. You got to stem the tide. You got to find a way to win a big game and get these critics off your back. and he hasn't done that yet. So he's got to, real quickly, he's got to find a way to come up big in a big spot. And to your point, you might start to look at Kalen DeBoer a little bit differently, where it's like, well, he did take Washington to a national championship game appearance.
Yeah.
He has won a lot of games. Like, maybe this guy isn't half bad, but he's got to win one of those bigger games for people to start thinking like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Brian Noe on tonight, countdown host here on Fox Sports Radio. So I've seen some of the media folks go from Arch Manning's going to be the number one pick in the next year's NFL draft to after 1 week they go, oh, I'm not so sure about that. Let's not go crazy. What do you think of Arch Manning in the opening debut?
I think just simply a bad performance doesn't automatically equal a bad quarterback. That's the easiest way I could explain Arch. He was bad on Saturday, played a bad game against Ohio State. That doesn't mean that he's just bad in every game going forward. You know, there's a reason why he was the number one recruit. There's a reason why a lot of people think he will be the number one overall draft pick if he goes out next year. He's got a lot of talent. He just doesn't have a ton of experience, and it showed against Ohio State. If you just kind of separate the knee-jerk reaction and the emotion from it, he was on the road against the defending champion Ohio State Buckeyes. He's playing in the horseshoe. That's not the easiest thing to do when you don't have much college experience at all. So it's funny, right? Like, before that game, it was, oh, well, he's played against these bum teams. It was like, you know, one of the Louisiana teams and some other, you know, Northwest, East, Shrine, Central State, whatever. And that was the knock on him. And now it's gone from that to, what's this performance against Ohio State? It can't be both. Either he's inexperienced and give it a little bit of time, or like he had plenty of experience, and what's up with this performance? He hasn't had the experience, so I would give it time. It was a bad performance, Nate. I don't sugarcoat it, but I'm not selling all my stock with the guy. He's very talented, so I think he turns it around here in short order.
What's your read on the Bill Belichick scenario, man? That was ugly Labor Day night. I mean, I don't like what I'm seeing. It's Bill. It's his personality. I get it. It seems like this guy, I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't.
Yeah, that was a rough one, Nate. That was a rough one. The thing that I don't understand are all these people that are like, what is North Carolina doing? Like, just stop for a second. Did you hear what you said? What is North Carolina doing? This isn't USC. This isn't, you know, a program steeped in tradition like Notre Dame or Clemson, Alabama, on and on, right? This is North Carolina. I read a stat today. It was the Mac Brown era. I think they were 44-33 in the Mac Brown era, like something along those lines. That's what they've been. They've been a little bit better than a 500 team. And so they get Belichick in there. They finally got some pizzazz. They got some eyeballs on the program. If they're not printing national championships and winning 10 games a season, yeah, it's going to be a disappointment on one hand. But on the other hand, you're North Carolina football. You're nothing, you know? So this idea that, why are they going down this Bill Belichick road? What else are they going down? What other road is there that's as interesting and put some life into that program? So it was embarrassing, Nate. This might be a really rough season. But and there's a lot of pushback out there. Like, why are they even hiring Bill Belichick? Because it's North Carolina, man. That's a no-brainer. I would do that all day long to get some attention on that program. Hopefully he'll turn it around and make it a little bit more of an it program, because it hasn't been forever. No, so I absolutely back the hire, even though that was a disaster against TCU there.
I agree with that. I mean, it is North Carolina. It's Bill Belichick, but I think he can get scrutinized. By the way, Kalen DeBoer getting a little more scrutinized than Bill's flop Monday night. Brian Noe is on tonight, countdown host, Fox Sports Radio. Let's go to the NFL. So you've been tough on Jerry Jones. You've been tough. Micah Parsons gets a massive deal from the Packers. I think an overpayment from the Packers with his impact. He might have a little back issue on top of this. So I think the deal was really, really rich, but did the Cowboys mess it up by not giving him $47 million a year?
Well, they messed it up. It's a little bit like the Luka Doncic thing, Nate, where if you're going to trade these players, find a way to maximize the value, right? Like if you're going to make that decision, all right, we're trading Luka Doncic, we're trading Micah Parsons, find a way to maximize the value of doing so. And neither the Mavericks nor the Cowboys did that, where, I mean, we all know the Luka Doncic thing, where you should have opened it up to the entire league, and it would have been a bidding war. Instead, they're just like in the under the cloak of night, like talking to the Lakers in secrecy. It was so dumb how they approached it. The Cowboys are pretty similar, right? Why aren't they trading Micah Parsons in March before the draft and making a bidding war? They could have driven that price tag up, maybe gotten a little bit more than they got. So they didn't maximize the value. I thought it was crazy to trade him in the first place. But if you made the decision to trade him, they should have gone about that much differently than they did. So just a calamity all the way around with the Dallas Cowboys.
What does that do for the Packers to you, Brian, knowing the NFC North? Like, I don't know where you had the Packers slotted. Does that move them to, like, the top?
I don't think so, Nate. It makes them, they're one of the teams in the mix, for sure. And you put Micah Parsons on that defense, it gives them some juice. I don't like their secondary. They lost Jair Alexander. So getting Micah Parsons and getting, a better pass rush, that helps out a secondary that I think is very iffy. So they're going to be one of the teams in the mix in the NFC. But, Nate, I kind of look at the Cowboys and the Packers, and I don't see much separation between the two teams. If you look over the last 4 years, because that's how long Micah Parsons has been in the NFL, the Cowboys actually have a better record. They've won 2 more games over the past 4 seasons than the Packers have. And both teams made the playoffs 3 times. They have identical playoff records, 1-3 over the last 4 years. I don't see much separation between Dak and Jordan Love. So the point is, if Micah Parsons is on the Cowboys those 4 years, and they're not doing anything come playoff time, why am I thinking all of a sudden the Packers, who've been very comparable to the Cowboys, why am I thinking they're like Super Bowl bound or anything like? I don't think that. I think that puts them in the mix, but I don't think, oh, wow, look out, Green Bay, here we come, man, Lombardi time. I don't think that. And maybe time will tell that turns out to be wrong, but I think that both the Cowboys and the Packers have been pretty comparable teams over the last 4 years. And if Micah isn't putting the Cowboys not only over the top, but putting them in a position to make deep runs in the playoffs, why am I believing he's doing that with the Packers?
Brian Noah tonight from Vegas. Listen to him on Fox Sports Radio. It is Countdown on the weekends, and we got a huge NFL schedule. How about Sunday night? Ravens, Bills. Are these two teams top tier AFC? Are we going to see who's really, really good Sunday?
Oh, yeah. We're talking creme de la creme, Nate Brown, of the AFC. Of course, the Chiefs punk both of those teams left and right when it really counts in the playoffs. But, second rate, I'd say a notch below, the Chiefs or the class of the AFC. But no, both the Bills and the Ravens are really, really good teams. It's going to be exciting to see them in action. That Bills defense can slow down Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson is sensational in the regular season, but come playoff time, pretty iffy, Nate Brown. I did see an interesting stat this morning where, shout out to The Athletic, they've got a newsletter, and Lamar Jackson's 3-5 in the playoffs. That's his record. And Peyton Manning was 3-6 when he then had his Super Bowl season. So there are a lot of people that are like, all right, here we go, Lamar Jackson time. The only thing is, it's going to happen at some point. He's too talented for it not to happen, I believe. But, man, he's made people look kind of silly in the postseason after looking so good in the regular season. He's got to find a way to correct that. He's in the Alex Rodriguez realm right now, where he's just crushing the regular season, and it's like, where'd Lamar go in the playoffs? So he's not going to be able to fix that in week 1, but it's something to keep in mind as he's probably crushing the regular season again this year.
I sense some sarcasm with the Ravens and the Bills. So how about the Chiefs Friday night? So Chiefs favored by 3. It's Brazil against the Chargers. So you're taking that.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs in that game, Nate. You look at Mahomes, 35-5 against the AFC West. That's ridiculous. 35-5.
I've seen that.
That's crazy. And listen, there's so many people that are like, the blueprint's out based on the Super Bowl. It's like they played one awful half against the best roster in the NFL at the time, the Eagles. The blueprint's out. All these teams like the Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders, they figured out the Chiefs now based on the Super Bowl. I don't buy it at all. I think this is the revenge tour of the Chiefs. I think they're going to be a gigantic pain in the boudoir this season. I think it starts in week 1 in Brazil. I think they get the Chargers.
Wow, that's quite the statement. The Chiefs, you're high on the Chiefs. Imagine that, the revenge tour. Brian Noe is in. He's on the tour. It starts now. Countdown is the show on the weekends here on Fox Sports Radio. The best lineup, the best show to get you ready for the games. Brian, good to have you, man. Thanks a lot.
Always great hanging with you, Nate. And it's even greater hanging with you and talking ball in South Dakota, where it's always a good day in South Dakota, right?
It is, except for Kalen DeBoer today. It's not a great day for Kalen DeBoer in South Dakota. We're still supporting him. I'm supporting him. So let's take it easy on my guy, Kalen DeBoer. Brian Noe is on tonight, Countdown host here on Fox Sports Radio. You listen to him every Saturday and Sunday. He is on getting you ready for the biggest games. Listener text coming in. This is a good one on the Kalen DeBoer thing. Listener text. This whole Alabama tussle about the head coach should remind Husker fans the exact same thing they did against multiple coaches trying to find the next Tom Osborne. Very, very good text. I mean, Frank Solich wasn't good enough. Nobody's good enough. How about Scott Frost? Take it easy. So let's give Kalen DeBoer a little bit of time here to bounce back. Nick Saban left when things weren't at their highest level. People are forgetting. We're acting like Nick Saban just walked away after winning, 5 national titles in a row. That's not the case. In the mix for sure, but was taken down by Georgia, taken down by Michigan. So it's just give him a little bit of time here. That's a good text. 605-720-1067 is our number. That's the text line on the Nate Brown Show if you want in. Let's go FCS next. Sam Herder covers the FCS. He's going to Bozeman, Montana for the showdown. The Jacks and the Bobcats. I'm going to ask him to make his prediction who wins Saturday night in the top 5 showdown. Sam Herder coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of direction. Gatherings for all back to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Renewal by Andersen Windows and Patio Doors, the customers say it best, and they feel the difference every day.
Very happy with it. Very, very happy. I don't get tired of looking at them. And it's so nice with the breeze now, opening the windows, the ease of sliding the windows back and forth. Notice that it is warmer in the winter time, and it is cooler when the sun is shining in.
Renewal by Andersen Windows and Patio Doors, the customers say it best. Book your free estimate right now at rbarapidcity.com.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Building your Black Hills dream? Builder's First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs has you covered. Top quality materials, product expertise, all your building needs in one place for materials and services. Just stop in or start at bldr.com. That's bldr.com. Builder's First Source. Build it.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
It is the Nate Brown Show on Wednesday edition of the program. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. Thanks for making us part of your day. Coming up, Dan Jackson live from Brookings tonight. We'll get him right after practice, so we get him live tonight. Coach Jackson in on the Nate Brown Show talking Jacks football. They're getting set to go to Bozeman, Montana State, South Dakota State showdown Saturday night. To preview it, let's get our guy, Sam Herder, on tonight. FCS Senior Analyst, HeroSports.com. Follow him if you're not at Sam Herder FCS on X. The best follow there for FCS coverage at Sam Herder FCS. Sam, welcome back on. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you as always for having me.
I appreciate it, man. Let's break down this game Saturday, but I want to go back to the first game here. I want to stay there at South Dakota State. They dominated the game against Sacramento State, but didn't score as much as they could have or should have maybe. What do you think of South Dakota State dominating the ground game? The defense just stymied Sac State on the ground. Unbelievable. 24 yards on the ground for Sac State. What do you think of the South Dakota State 20-3 win?
Yeah, I thought overall it was an impressive win, and in a sense maybe the best of both worlds, and the fact that you get a win and a pretty decisive one at that with a 3-score victory there, but also at the same time there's a lot of stuff to clean up, especially offensively. I mean, defensively that was a pretty flawless performance right there, but offensively certainly some red zone things to clean up, some third down passing situations to clean up. Maybe it's always hard to tell when sacks are allowed. It's probably sometimes some of them could be because the quarterback's hanging on to the ball too long, or the running back missed a block, or there's a lack of communication and a blitzer ran free. So I do think it was concerning to see Sacramento State get 7 sacks in this game, but I feel like that is certainly something that South Dakota State can clean up. So overall, I think you get a ranked win like that in rather decisive fashion. It's a great start for South Dakota State, but at the same time, I think there's they haven't scratched the surface yet of how good they can be offensively.
What's your read on the ground game? New transfer running back has a big day. It seems like South Dakota State's just going to keep on grinding on the ground with the O-line and these backs that continue to just step in and be really, really good.
Yeah, Julius Loffridge, came in with great production, on the ground with his pass stop in the Patriot League, and it seems like he's going to be the bell cow guy. But at the same time, you probably do want to develop some depth behind him because you also probably don't want to run Chase Mason too much as well to preserve him. And so seeing that running back room develop some more depth, I think will be important because running back is a position where even if you don't miss any games, you're going to get beat up, and Julius is a physically well put together a young man, and so he can handle 20 plus carries every game, I would guess. But at the same time, you probably want to preserve him a little bit as well, and hopefully some other guys can take some carries off of his plate.
Okay, so you give me your take. I've given Sacramento State a bad time because they came out, said, hey, they're going to light up, score a lot of points, and there's been a lot of Twitter back and forth, and they're going to the FBS no matter what and all that stuff. Sacramento State brought in a ton of new players, new coach. Where's this team at in the FCS? Can you tell?
Yeah, I mean, they're a bit of a mystery, and I wrote this too in my takeaways. I kind of threw it in there that the Sacramento State football has 2 football games scheduled for the 2026 season and no conference home. We assume that they're going to be an independent, whether that's an FBS independent or an FCS independent. It seems most likely 75% chance that they're going to be an FCS independent, but their president still keeps on saying that they plan on playing FBS football in 2026. I don't know how exactly they're going to go about doing that, whether it's an appeal of some sort or whether it's some type of lawsuit to get into the FBS. But I mean, we are obviously now less than a year away from the 2026 season, and they have 10 more football games they need to get on their schedule. But as far as this year, I thought defensively they actually played pretty well, especially in the second half there, and so that is something they can build off of. Offensively, a part of you goes, okay, it's going to take them a while to gel maybe, and once they really get gelled, this offense can really take off. At the same time, I mean, quarterback play was just not there. I mean, Jaden Rashada did not look good at all in his pocket presence and the throws he was making, and if that doesn't improve, that is really the catalyst to the go-go offense. And, they do have, I still do think they have a talented running back stable, even though that didn't necessarily show on Saturday. But if you have no threat of a passing game, that running attack isn't going to go too well either. So we'll see where they go from here. I still think they could, I don't have them in my top 25 rankings right now because I need to see them prove it. But, who knows? Maybe they figure things out, and they do have a winnable FBS game this weekend at Nevada, who was picked last, I believe, in the Mountain West Conference. And so if they get a win there, I mean, they are certainly right back on track to being a potential playoff team. But if they lose there, then they're in an 0-2 hole, and that's a tough record to climb out of.
My prediction, Sam Herder, you ready? I'm going to ask you for your prediction of this game, but my prediction: Nevada beats Sacramento State rather easily. So there's a prediction for you on that one. By the way, let's go to USD. Play some FCS, FBS games. USD gets beat up by Iowa State. Some people say that was a bad sign for a USD team that wants to be good in the FCS. Should they have been somewhat competitive at Iowa State or not?
I thought they would have been a little bit more competitive in this game, but I didn't really think the Yotes were going to go in there and get an upset or anything like that. But it was much more decisive than what I was expecting. It's just really hard to get a good gauge on these type of games because when it comes to FCS versus FBS matchups, I mean, there were 6 FCS over FBS wins last year, and 3 of those teams didn't even make the playoffs. There's also multiple FCS teams that push FBS opponents, and they ended up not doing much with their season. There's also examples of, like 2022, Montana State lost like 68-20, to Oregon State, and they went on to make the semifinals. In 2016, when James Madison won the national championship, they gave up nearly like 60 points to North Carolina and lost rather decisively. And so it's hard to really give a fair gauge on this because, you could watch an FCS team beat an FBS opponent and think they're good and they end up not being good. Or you can watch South Dakota and Montana State lose pretty decisively to their FBS opponents and be like, oh, that was a pretty ugly loss. But at the same time, is that really going to tell us the whole story about how their season goes? I don't necessarily think so. There are small things you can take away, in each of those games, but I'm not ready to press any sort of panic button at all for South Dakota just yet. And this weekend is actually, I think, a really good test because I know Lamar probably doesn't move the needle a whole lot for people, but they're an unranked team, and so I understand that. But I do feel like they are a program on the rise that has somewhat been on the playoff, bubble a little bit in past years with good starts to the season. So I think this is a good test for South Dakota. If they go there and dominate, it's okay. The Yotes are back on track. If they go there and win, 24-14, you go, okay, good road win, but left a little meat on the bone there. And then obviously if they get upset, which I don't think is going to happen, but if they do lose, then it's a whole different discussion next week, but I don't necessarily see that happening.
Sam Herder on tonight, FCS senior analyst, HeroSports.com for his coverage. He's going to Bozeman for Saturday. Here it is, top 5 matchup. Montana State got blasted by Oregon. They're a national title contender, I think, in the FBS. So Montana State, Gold Rush, it's going to be rocking in Bozeman. I was impressed with South Dakota State. It looked like a very similar team to me than they've had and they did leave points on the board. But I was impressed that they still won how they did against Sac State. Physical, really good defense. I see that traveling well. I see that's a winning formula. Break down Montana State, South Dakota State Saturday.
Yeah, it's I think the best non-conference game of this season with these two highly ranked teams, and they're so familiar with each other as well. This is the fourth time that South Dakota State and Montana State have played. As far as the 2020s, they played a couple of times too in the late 2010s. I'm just really interested to see how this Montana State offensive line that is pretty experienced. You have the Bobcats offensive line plus two running backs that have all Big Sky accolades. How that rushing attack goes up against South Dakota State, whose front seven, like we've talked about, looked terrific this last weekend. I'm also interested just to see what this Montana State offense looks like, because I do think they are going to spread the ball around a little bit more. They are going to pass the ball around a little bit more with some quick hitting pass game, and that'll be interesting to see how South Dakota State defends that, because if they have that ability to spread the ball out and have these quick hitting throws, then all of a sudden your linebackers and safeties, they're not reading run, because in the past it was pretty much Montana State to defend them, stop the run, take away the fade, on the outside, and then you're good. But if they're kind of slinging the ball around a little bit, Justin Lamson did go 23 of 31 for 198 yards. Again, a lot of those were either screens or bubble routes, quick hitting, stuff like that. But that does spread a defense out, and then you couple that with the strong rushing attack that Montana State is going to deploy. I think that can be difficult to slow down for defenses, but I think the Jacks showed that if they're not the best, they are one of the best defenses in the FCS. So I just really like that matchup and what we're going to see from the MSU offense versus the South Dakota State defense.
HeroSports.com. You just put out your preview and prediction, and your prediction is Montana State at home?
Yeah, there was kind of it's sometimes you feel a little lazy, going with the home team, but I do think it's a pretty equal matchup on paper. But then you have that home field advantage for Montana State, which is probably good for 7 points, and so I think that kind of carries them over the top for this win. I just think they're going to seize the momentum in a key moment, whether it's a turnover or a false start on third and long, or a false start that pushes South Dakota State out of field goal range. Like, just something, those small things kind of add up in games like this, and I think it can be the difference maker for the Cats.
This could be the first time I've disagreed with Sam Herder on this show. I mean, it might not be the first time, but I hate to tell you, Sam, I'm taking the Jacks. I'm taking the Jacks in South Dakota. I love how they looked. I really did. I think they're not missing a beat. I'm going Jacks. Sam's saying the Bobcats in a close one in Bozeman. He'll be covering it. Follow him at Sam Herder FCS and HeroSports.com. I always appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. Sam Herder on tonight, FCS senior analyst. His prediction, Bobcats over the Jacks in a tight one. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. HeroSports.com, FCS senior analyst. Jacks win that one Saturday night. Jacks win that. I've been impressed. I was impressed in that first week. That was domination. I mean, absolute domination. You get a couple of things cleaned up on the offensive side. They blow those guys away. They absolutely blow Sacramento State away. So I'm going Jacks at Montana State. I think it's tight, but I think the Jackrabbits win. By the way, Dan Jackson's coming up on this show tonight. Second hour is getting ready to go, so hang on. Dan Jackson live after practice tonight from Brookings and a preview of the Bobcat matchup and his reaction to the Week 1 win over Sac State. Head coach of the Jacks coming up live on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. First, we jump into the next hour. A lot to cover, including a 5 questions from Chris on a Wednesday. Our loyal listener, Chris, sends me 5. Some answers coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort has it all. Watch your team on massive high-definition screens while enjoying live betting. Keep some skin in the game even when the odds don't go your way. Enter Jack's Second Chance Mulligan Drawing by dropping your losing ticket for a shot at up to $200 in Cadillac cash every week. Satisfy your craving with mouth-watering Mexican cuisine from Guadalajara's or choose from 4 other food vendors, all while sipping on your favorite drinks. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your game play out?
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. Wednesday edition of the program packed tonight. Dan Jackson's coming up live from Brookings after the Jacks finish up practice. We got him live on the Nate Brown Show. Coming up, Dan Jackson, South Dakota State head football coach. Hang on. This hour features Eliot Clough. First time on the program for Eliot. He's the Iowa football Hawkeye Insider, 24/7 Sports. Iowa State this weekend. That's a big one. Eliot Clough on the way talking Hawkeyes, the Cy-Hawk rivalry straight ahead. I've got a good piece that I found here from my friend Matt Kearney. He's providing an interesting part to the program tonight. We'll get to that. One of the worst takes I've seen on youth sports in a long time. Charmin soft. We'll get to that coming up. Hey, it's time on a Wednesday. Why don't we do this right now? Are we ready for this thing? I'm ready if you're ready.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, 5 questions from Chris. Our loyal listener, Chris, sends me 5 questions. Let's knock them down, Chris. Let's go. Question number 1. Nate, who do you think is more likely to walk away from head coaching duties after this season? Bill Belichick or Deion Sanders? Deion's hanging around, Chris. Deion's not going to bag this thing just because Shador and Travis are gone. He's going to hang with this. Bill Belichick will hang with this. It's going to be like a slow death. It's just going to be tough to watch. Neither coach will walk away from head coaching after this season. Bill's going to hang with North Carolina, and they're going to have to do something. His girlfriend's going to have to spice it up or something there because, man, it's going to be ugly. By the way, I saw his girlfriend today, Bill's girlfriend, the 20-some-year-old. She was at practice. She's out there at practice. What are we doing? Anyway, they'll stick with it, Chris. Don't worry. Dion Prime, he'll be fine. Bill, not so sure. Question number 2. How should Nebraska Husker football fans feel after holding on to barely win against Cincinnati? Cornhuskers have a losing record against some of the biggest teams in the Big Ten. Should they be worried? I'm a little worried. I have to say I picked them 8-4. I'm a little worried. That was tight, and it felt like similar seasons. It felt like similar seasons. They hung on to win. That was different than some of these games. But I'm a little worried. How worried should Husker fans be? If you had them go to the college football playoff, yep, you should be worried. I don't see that. But 8-4, I'll still hang on to 8-4. Question number 3. Nate, why do you think Major League Baseball has such a hard time promoting their games? We had Labor Day weekend, and people are off, but Major League Baseball didn't have all of their games available for free on MLB.tv. They did that on the 4th of July, but not for Labor Day weekend. Major League Baseball hasn't promoted their players and the game like they did in the 90s. I mean, I think you probably got to do that. You're getting into postseason race time here. I mean, we're into September now, so you got to promote some of these games way better. I don't know why they have a hard time doing it. I don't know if it would have moved the needle because it was a huge college football weekend. So if you're into baseball, it's because your team's in it now. The Yankees have won 8 out of 9. The Tigers are winning. My Cubbies are in this thing. So if you're into baseball now, it's because your team's in the mix. Baseball's got to figure out free access and wide-ranging access to their games. There's a ton of games, and somehow we still can't watch a bunch of games easily. Question number 4. President of the Denver Broncos recently said the team's conducting extensive review of a potential new stadium. You're a diehard fan of the team. The ownership hasn't ruled out renovating the current stadium. They haven't hinted about asking the city or state to cover any costs. Do you think the owner of the Broncos should foot the entire bill of a new stadium or renovations? It's a tough one. People will argue about this till the end of time. Should citizens help with billionaire owners? I've always said teams are important to cities. I was okay with Minnesota, Minneapolis helping the Vikings and the U.S. Bank Stadium scenario. People say, oh, come on, give me a break. There's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of economic impact. There's a lot of driving that. So if the Broncos had this big problem where, we're going to go somewhere else or we're going to do something else, they won't. Should the citizens of Colorado be willing to potentially help with part of it? I'm usually okay with that. It sounds easy to just make the billionaire owners do the whole thing. You're the one benefiting. Public-private partnerships work if they're done the right way. Question number 5. Last week I asked you if the Indiana Fever should just shut down Caitlin Clark. There's only 3 games left in the regular season. The Fever are in the last spot for the playoffs. They may not make it. Nate, my question is, do you think the team has known that Caitlin Clark won't be coming back, but they haven't told anybody to keep fans interested? The Caitlin Clark conspiracy. I'm not sure. I haven't really heard much. You're right on that, Chris. They haven't said anything. It's a groin injury, and it's been like 19 games. I mean, it's just wild. So did they say much about Caitlin not coming back to kind of keep it low profile and just focus on, hey, let's try and survive here and make sure people aren't upset? Because say, hey, Caitlin's out for the season. Yeah, probably people are checked out for the season. I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but they probably didn't want to say too much. Let's just say that. Can Caitlin make it back? It's interesting. Tough one. 5 questions from Chris in the books. The softest piece on youth sports that I've read in quite some time. I mean, are we this soft now? That's coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on your next project right now at Menards. From quick fixes to heavy repairs, our Masterforce industrial-grade mechanics hand tools are designed for maximum strength and durability to get the job done. Save big on the Masterforce 220-piece mechanics tool set. On sale now through September 7th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch ticket from the South Dakota Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $50,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today and welcome to Jurassic Park. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
That's my husband, Mr. Fix-It.
I got it! I ain't got it.
I told him we needed replacement windows for our house.
I am man!
I told him rather than go to a do-it-yourself store, we should contact Renewal by Anderson because they only do windows. They're experts, no subcontractors.
Hey, honey, did you know our electricity runs through all these little metal pipes? And yow!
You okay?
Yeah.
Renewal by Anderson, hassle-free, energy-efficient, low-maintenance windows with a professional, perfect fit.
The hole needs to be just a little larger.
Keeping your home warm in the winter, cool in the summer with their Fibrex windows.
I had no idea we had this much insulation in our walls. Honey?
Yeah?
I think it's time we call Renewal by Anderson.
Good call, Mr. Fix-It.
For a perfect fit, call 605-341-7831. Renewal by Anderson of South Dakota. 605-341-7831.
One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, thanks for being here, making this show possible Wednesday on The Nate Brown Show. Glad you found us. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live every afternoon drive. We're ready to go. Second hour packed. Great guest tonight. Hang on. Dan Jackson's going to join us live from Brookings after the Jacks finish up football practice. We'll go to Dan Jackson live in Brookings. They've got a biggie against Montana State Saturday night in Bozeman. Top 5 showdown of the FCS. I picked the Jacks. Surprise, surprise. No, I mean, I'm from Montana, so I know the Bobcats well. They've really risen here over the past decade. Used to be the Grizz show. Now Montana State's kind of taking an edge. I'm going Jacks. I was impressed with them in their opening win over Sac State. Could have blown them away, made some mistakes, didn't score as many points as they should have, but it was an easy win. That was easy. So I'm taking the Jacks. My guy Sam Herder joined us in the first hour, FCS senior analyst. He's covering the game in Bozeman Saturday night. Sam Herder picks Montana State 24-20. I'm picking the Jacks. Can you buy that? Dan Jackson's coming up, South Dakota State head football coach live. We'll talk to him. We'll go over to Iowa tonight. Iowa State. Can Mark Gronowski bounce back and give the Hawkeyes a big win over Iowa State? Iowa dropped out of the top 25. They were in top 25 a little bit. They were receiving votes in some of the polls. Iowa taking on Iowa State. We'll talk to Eliot Clough coming up next. Hawkeye Insider for 24/7 Sports. If you want to be on the show, 605-720-1067 is our number. The Pizza Ranch Studio hotline. Also the Barron's Wilson text line. You can text the show, same number. It comes right in here on the app. We'll get those out on the air. 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson listener text line. So I've got to have a little fun. Sometimes you just have to have some fun, right? Thought-provoking sports talk and some fun. Matt Kearney found an interesting piece today. He's a great producer of the Nate Brown Show, and he said, there's a big write-up here about youth sports on Business Insider. I'm going, okay, wow, I'm interested in sports business. I have daughters that have been in youth sports. I'm a youth sports coach, too, and stuff, so I'm interested. You got my interest. So then he sent it over to me. And boy, is this quite the piece. Is this quite the piece? So youth sports parents, let's listen to this one. Listen to this one. The headline from Business Insider. I wasn't prepared for the world of youth sports. It's expensive, competitive, and a huge commitment. So, okay, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I was prepared either. I just don't look at my statements anymore, but expensive, competitive, and a huge commitment. Okay. And then the lady writes that it's about her son, who's a 10-year-old that became interested in soccer. So she thought, well, we'll just do some after-school soccer fun and play pickup games and stuff. And then she found out, no, he was passionate about soccer, so we have to get into the club soccer scene. And she writes about this like it was the biggest challenge of her life. Here's some more headlines. Getting my son to soccer is inconvenient and time-consuming. A couple of weeks before the season started, I discovered that my son, who usually gets in bed at 7:30 each night, would have to attend practices that don't end until 8:30. Wait, hang on a second. I was going to look through. It's like, wait, is this guy 7? No, he's 10. I mean, it is 10 years old. Well, I don't know if I was going to bed at 7:30, even though I didn't play competitive youth sports that took over my life. I wasn't going to bed at 7:30 at 10. So she said, it's hard for my son to wake up for school the day after practice, and I worry I'm sacrificing his academics for sports. Okay, so we can't get into bed at 7:30 because there's youth soccer practice. Oh, no. Here's another one. I had to commit to a team without knowing anything about the schedule. Okay, before paying, I asked when and where my son's team would practice and play. In response, I found out the schedule and the games aren't finalized until close to the start of the season. I asked other soccer parents if this was normal. I had a hard time believing that any parent would be able to commit to an unknown schedule. I mean, the writer of this acts like it's it just goes down this road of us as parents. We have to be able to take a little bit of stuff and say, hey, we can adjust this, we can adjust that. We got to be able to do certain things, that everything's not written out for Jimmy, little Jimmy, to be in bed by 7:30. We have to get our snack at 7, and we just have to make sure everything's perfect. And what time are the games? I have to know exactly where we're going to be playing and what we're going to be doing. I think as a I don't know what it is, and maybe it's me, but some of the generation of these parents, this generation of these parents, just so soft about stuff. just too soft about stuff. This kid wanted to play soccer. She said, oh, okay, I guess we'll play soccer. When you're on a team, you got to commit to the team. There is a bigger thing than just you and your schedule and your bedtime. I don't think they're playing till midnight. I understand things get busy. You're going to miss some dinners. You're going to miss some things. It's busy. But you can decide as a parent, is soccer good? And the kicker of this piece tonight in Business Insider, the kicker of this, I'm not sure I would have agreed to let my son try out for a soccer team if I'd known more about youth sports from the outset. However, he loves playing and being with his teammates and has passion for the sport. I see him blossoming, and there's no backing out now. That's the kicker. And she goes through, this is wrong, this is bad, I can't believe this. But it's actually good for him, and he's having fun, and we're having a good time, and he has passion for it. I think we can be just a little less soft and kind of look at the bigger picture. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's too stressful at times. Yes, some coaches and people are making it too competitive. Yeah, there's bad stuff. We act like this is the end of the world, that a 10-year-old wanted to play soccer. We didn't know the schedule. We can't believe it goes past 7:30. I can't believe we're doing this. We're sacrificing his academics for the sport. But at the end, I see him blossoming. We're in. Thanks for playing. Coming right back with Eliot Clough, Iowa Hawkeye Insider, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Renewal by Anderson Windows and Patio Doors, the customers say it best, and they feel the difference every day.
Very happy with it. Very, very happy. I don't get tired of looking at them. And it's so nice with the breeze now, opening the windows, the ease of sliding the windows back and forth. Notice that it is warmer in the winter time. And the sun is shining in.
Renewal by Anderson Doors best, now at RBARapidCity.com.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show, where my kids don't get to bed by 7:30 because we're grinding in youth sports till 11 o'clock at night. I'm kidding. Let's be a little less soft, okay? Come on. Let's get after it tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show is on. Dan Jackson's coming up. South Dakota State head football coach. Big matchup for the Jacks. Jackrabbits, Montana State, FCS Top 5 showdown Saturday night. We got Coach Jackson coming up live from Brookings after practice. Hey, let's go to Iowa. Iowa football coverage from Eliot Clough. First time on the program. He's good coverage here from him. HawkeyeInsider, 24/7 Sports. Find him on X at Eliot Clough. Iowa State. Mark Gronowski trying to bounce back. See if the Hawkeyes can take down the Cyclones. Eliot, good to have you on. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Nate?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you hopping in. Let's go to last week. There's a lot of tough stuff being said about Mark Gronowski. I had Mark on this show every week last year. We did a segment with the QB for the Jackrabbits. Really like the guy. Love his leadership, his work ethic, his character. I think he's a gamer. Looked jittery in his opener. What's your take on where Gronowski was at?
He did, Nate. You could tell, at Kinnick and the press box, we're all the way at the tippy top of the press box. And you could tell from all the way up there that Mark was a little uncomfortable, little jittery, little nervous. He came out right in the front of the swarm from the locker room, and the camera right in front of him. He's front and center on the big board. And to me, it looked like he was ready to kill somebody. And I think his eyes were a little bit bigger, and I misread the body language because he was just amped up and ready to go, adrenaline pumping. And unfortunately, yeah, he definitely did have, I think, some of those first game jitters. And to me, the Iowa fan base has a little bit of PTSD with transfer quarterbacks at this point in time. Quarterbacks in general for the last about half decade. And for them to see the performance from Mark, I think that there's been a lot of overreaction from the fan base because they're so used to poor quarterback play. And if there's anybody that knows this, Nate, it's you. It's that was not Mark Gronowski. A fun fact for you, Nate, I actually used to cover UNI, Northern Iowa football. Okay. So I got to see Mark carve up defenses quite a bit. And I think he's just played and won enough, and you spoke to his character a little bit. I've gotten to know him a little bit, and of course I've seen him do interviews with you and stuff like that too. I just don't think that performance was indicative of who Mark Gronowski is as a quarterback. Of course, having covered Iowa for the last few years, I do know what bad quarterback play is too. And right now, he came out on Tuesday at Iowa's media availability and said, look, I know I was bad, and now I just kind of have to let loose and say, screw it and play loose and play free and play the way I know I can. And that's great, and I think that's who he is. But right now, we're just kind of in wait-and-see mode, and to see him bounce back and to see him lead the Iowa offense to some success through the air.
What do you think Iowa has on offense? So he had some weapons at South Dakota State really every year he was there. What does Iowa have for weapons? How can this offense produce, do you think? Or are they going to rely on Gronowski being like a big-time playmaker? How is they have a great ground game. How about spreading it out? Are they going to open things up at all?
That's tough. Mark's ability to run the ball will probably have them lean towards the run more frequently via quarterback than what we've seen in recent years, especially with Cade McNamara under center. Like you mentioned, run game, that's who Iowa is. Unfortunately, their lead back got hurt this last week. Kamari Moulton in an arm sling. He's not going to play this week. and their top receiver, who actually had offers largely from MBFC schools, particularly South Dakota State, I think is where he would have ended up other than maybe Iowa State or Nebraska. Reese Vanderzee, Iowa's top receiver and Mark's top target, from what we've heard, out with a stress fracture in his foot. So he missed last week. He's out for the next probably 3-4 weeks. So that hurts Iowa's ability to pass the ball. Now, what they do have is probably seven playable receivers, and that's kind of a rarity, especially relative to like 2022 when their only scholarship receiver that was healthy was Brody Brecht, and now he's pitching in single-A baseball. So it's very different now. They've got some legitimate receivers, particularly Caden Weegan, who won the Jet Award last season as a returner. He caught a touchdown pass last week. Then you look to KJ Parker, who's a guy that's ascending. Jerriett Bowie, Dayton Howard played well last year. Sam Phillips, a transfer from Chattanooga, made some really nice plays in the punt return game last year. Seth Anderson, another FCS transfer from Charleston Southern, has really done a lot of good things in camp from what we've heard from behind the scenes. And then, of course, it's tight end U, right? Like Addison Ostrenga is the top receiver in terms of tight ends now, and then Zach Ortworth behind him. So he does, I don't know if I'd call him weapons, especially relative to what he had at South Dakota State, because that's effectively an FBS program and an FCS level. And, of course, they had NFL dudes. And I don't know if you look at the receiving corps at Iowa and say there's an NFL guy there, maybe at tight end in Addison Ostrenga. But, yeah, it's really the run game. Xavier Williams really popped last week as a redshirt freshman. And of course, they've got some depth there, too. So, man, it's tough to call them weapons relative to the rest of college football. But he's got some guys to distribute the ball. Is it going to be an air-it-out offense? No. It's going to be a complementary offense. They run the play action, and that's where Mark's going to be able to take advantage of opposing defenses when they start creeping up, loading the box, looking at Xavier Williams, looking at T.J. Washington, looking at Jazz Patterson, and then he can beat him over the top with his arm.
Eliot Clough on tonight. Hawkeye Insider 24/7 Sports covers Iowa football, basketball. Follow him at Eliot Clough on X. It's Iowa State. Kirk Ferentz, what's his temperament? What's his view, do you think, of Mark Gronowski after game one? Yeah, so Kirk, I mean, especially when he talks to the media, is just going to be super measured. That's just who he is. I mean, he's been around the block a few times, right? having coached for 27 years, and he's going to have Mark's back no matter what. That's just kind of his style of coaching, is he always has his players' backs. And especially with Mark, who comes in with so many games under his belt, national championships under his belt, Walter Payton Award, having won now 50 games. I mean, like, Mark has the confidence and the humility and the willingness to learn that impresses upon Kirk Ferentz, and why they were willing to go get him out of the portal. Kirk is going to have Mark's back no matter what, and especially given who Mark is and what he's already accomplished, Kirk's not going to waver from that. I got to ask you, what's your read on Iowa State? They've had some nice wins. That win over K-State maybe doesn't look as good. K-State struggled with UND out of the Valley. How about then they beat you up USD? We can't really tell much there. How good's Iowa State here? Man, I love Rocco Becht. I can't lie. Like, haven't seen him play the last few years. Obviously struggled against Iowa a couple years ago, but then made some really big plays in the Cyhawk game last year. Has just continued to roll since then. He is a legit quarterback. Might be the best quarterback in the Big 12. Might be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And he knows how to win games, man. Like, the amount of close games, single-possession games that they won, single-score games, rather, that they won last year because of his play. I mean, yeah, look at the NFL receivers, right? But they don't do anything like that without a good quarterback. And then you flip to this year, and, Nate, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm curious as to what your answer will be. Out of 144 plays Iowa State has run this season, guess how many they've run with one or fewer tight ends? I don't know that one. 4. Wow. They're running 12, 13 personnel on almost every snap. So what that's going to do to Iowa is make them, I mean, I don't know how often they're going to run their 4-3 versus their typical 4-2-5 offense with a cash, which is effectively a nickel back out there. And when you put them in a 4-3, they have a Leo, who's more of a traditional linebacker, and they're going to be able to, like with Rocco, they're going to be able to expose the Iowa, maybe not the secondary, but the middle of the defense with
a bunch of linebackers who weren't great last week and who are pretty inexperienced. They're like 4th, 5th year guys, but they've been behind Jay Higgins. They've been behind Nick Jackson, who are now in the NFL. Jay just made a 53-man roster at Baltimore. So I think it's going to be a close game because I do think Iowa has the advantage in the trenches and at running back particularly. But, man, it's tough for me to look at this game and say, man, Iowa's going to win because of XYZ when Rocco Becht is on the other side of the ball. You know what I mean?
Eliot Clough on tonight talking to Hawkeyes. It's the Cy-Hawk rivalry. HawkeyeInsider 24/7 Sports, his work there. So you're telling me Iowa's the underdog, and people would say that. Iowa's had the advantage here. Has Iowa State now, Matt Campbell, can you go now year in, year out and say, well, Iowa State, have they advanced yet over Iowa?
I don't know about that. You know, Matt Campbell and Iowa State haven't beaten Iowa in Jack Trice ever since Matt Campbell's been the head coach. They haven't beaten Iowa in Jack Trice since 2011 when Paul Rhodes was at the helm there. So that's tough for me. I think if they can continue to produce quarterbacks like they have with Brock Purdy, with Rocco Becht, then we're going to start to be able to have that continual conversation. But they haven't even so they haven't beaten Iowa in back-to-back years since 2011 or 2012, forgive me. But so they haven't done that yet. Kirk Ferentz is still dominated in Jack Trice Stadium in Ames. So no, I'm not ready. I'm not quite ready to say that. But if they keep churning out quarterbacks like Rocco Becht, like Brock Purdy, although Brock Purdy never did beat Iowa, it's going to be tough to continue to say that Iowa owns this rivalry, even though, you know, they still kind of do. And with their ability to develop talent, send guys to the NFL, I mean, it's really all contingent on, well, one, like I mentioned, the quarterbacks that Iowa State produces. But two, if Iowa can really start to be, well, competent on the offensive side of the ball, especially in the passing game under Tim Lester, then it's going to be really hard to beat the Hawkeyes, too, because they just develop so much talent that they send to the NFL. Phil Parker is, I mean, arguably the greatest assistant in the country. I mean, he is. He won the Art Broyles Award a couple years ago. So, I'm not quite ready to say Iowa State's the better program, but Matt Campbell is a hell of a coach, man, and Taylor Mauser's done a great job with Rocco Becht, too, as their offensive coordinator.
Quite something. Iowa's in a spot where they're the underdog, and the Hawkeyes have ruled this rivalry. Mark Gronowski and Iowa with a big one. Iowa State, Iowa coming up Saturday. Eliot Clough covering it. HawkeyeInsider 24/7 Sports on the Nate Brown Show. Eliot, I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Anytime, Nate. Thanks so much.
Appreciate the time. Eliot Clough on tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. HawkeyeInsider 24/7 Sports live from Iowa. The Cy-Hawk rivalry on this weekend. Mark Gronowski with a big one against Iowa State. Mark came on this show a few weeks ago and he said the one he has circled, that was it. That was it. Iowa State, that's the first one he had circled. All right, let's go to the FCS and get the head man for the Jacks, Dan Jackson. Practice just finished up in Brookings. We'll talk to the South Dakota State head football coach ahead of the big matchup at Montana State next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Stock up and save on the toughest filters in the business during Wix Filters sale days at your local Auto Value Parts store. Not only will you get the best deal of the season on our very best filters, but you'll also find deep discounts on oil, fluids, grease, batteries, and more. Upgrade your filters during Wix Filters sale days at your local Auto Value Parts store. See store for official sale dates. Auto Value. We've got the parts. We've got the smarts.
It's time to hit the court at the Waikiki Fall Hoop Fest, November 7th through the 9th at the Box Elder Event Center. 3 days of non-stop basketball action as teams battle it out for bragging rights and glory. Divisions for boys and girls, grades 5th through 10th. Bring your game, bring your team, and bring the energy. And when the game's over, celebrate with special Courtyard by Marriott room rates that include Waikiki Water Park passes for even more fun. Don't sit on the sidelines. Register your team today at thebox.live.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
And welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state on Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being here, The Nate Brown Show live. That's a big matchup of the FCS. Huge one. Top 5 matchup with the Jacks at Montana State Saturday night. South Dakota State opening win 20-3 over Sacramento State. I felt a dominating performance. Dominating performance. And they're 1-0 under head coach Dan Jackson. Coach Jackson just wrapped up practice. We got him live from Brookings as they get set for a big matchup against the Bobcats. Coach, good to have you back on. How are you?
I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me on, Nate. Just pseudo finishing it up here, boys. Kind of actually getting some extra work in right now. So it's good.
I love it. I appreciate you hopping in, man. We got good timing. By the way, how's the practice today? Let's get right into it. You put in work. What's Wednesday practice day need to be like?
Wednesdays are pretty physical. Just a sharpening day, situational football, third down, red zone. 2-minute, things like that. Tuesday, base install. Wednesday, we get a little bit more into the detail of situations. And Thursdays is a no-sweat day, so it's true walkthrough on Thursdays, which is different than most teams. And then Friday, we do a little bit shorter but faster practice.
Okay, I want to break down this opening game. I said dominating win. You want everything to go even better. I know there was some points left off the board, but the defense dominated. The offense racked up a lot of yards on the ground. I thought Chase Mason was still solid through the air. What did you want to see more of?
Yeah, points are the one stat that matters. So, we dominated them in every area, but I would like to see us put 40 points up there because we had the ability to do it. Be able to pitch a shutout, based on a mistake we made on special teams. That was tough on the defense, but I was proud of our guys' effort for flying around. They had energy. They're committed. They played for each other. So I think the fans and everybody saw a really committed, close team. We just need to execute on some different things, but to win by 3 scores and feel like you played probably a C game or C- game is good. I just wanted to, play a little cleaner, and that's why we practice, and it's why we coach. I guess if they were perfect in week 1, they probably wouldn't need us. We just need to clean some things up, finish in the red zone, and hold on to the football, and we'll be in good shape.
Dan Jackson on tonight from Brookings, South Dakota State head football coach. Jacks are 1-0, beat Sacramento State in the home opener in a sellout crowd. What was that like, Coach? Just take me through your emotion. Finally came, you run out onto the field, sellout crowd, you're back at South Dakota State. What was going through the mind?
No, I was emotional and excited, but not for myself, for the players. I actually didn't lead the team out of the tunnel. I made sure that our captains and Chase Mason and Quinn Christensen were kind of the ones that let us out, and I was behind those guys. So the player-led program, the kids are the ones that go win the games. They're the ones that make everything go. So was excited for them. We had Q run out with the South Dakota flag. We'll have a tradition where one of our South Dakota players every week we'll carry that flag out. I think that means something to that kid and our team as well. So some good emotions, fun, really good to be out in front of our crowd. I mean, they make such a difference when it's full and it's noisy.
Okay, I want to ask about some of the offensive opportunities that maybe were left off the board. When you got into the meetings, as you talked to your offensive staff, you talked to the players, what do you need to do differently there? It's just a mistake here or there, an assignment here or there? Was there something glaring?
Yeah, first, Lofton Ogroski scored a touchdown on one of those. I didn't realize that it was a bad spot and call. Probably should have been able to try to get a chance to review that one. But, that ended up in a field goal attempt. When we get down in there, we need to punch it in. They loaded the box and brought a lot of pressure, and we kind of felt like we were going to be able to just, run it through those things. Our receivers had one-on-ones on the perimeters, and our receivers pretty good. So I think, probably some opportunities to get the ball on the perimeter. They gave us some different looks. Julius is not a guy that's going to fumble the ball very often, and he just didn't get hit a lot in camp, so we fumbled the ball in a tough spot. And then when we do kick field goals, we got to make them. We're pretty aggressive, so we went for it on 4th down when we needed to, and we're successful. When we do choose to kick it, we need to make those kicks. So that's a point of emphasis this week, both sides being good in the red zone. That's going to be a big key to this game.
Dan Jackson, couple more. I'll let him run, getting a preview with the Jacks head coach as they go to Montana State. I'll get to Montana State in a second. Here's a big number. You rushed for 240 yards. You held Sac State to 24 yards when it's all said and done. Defensively up front, how do you feel about your guys?
I love him. Coach McCormick does a good job coaching them. One of the better D-line coaches I've been around. He's been mentored the right way and been around some good guys. Those players believe in him, believe in us, believe in the teaching. They know they're the heartbeat of the defense, and they have been for a long time. They continue to just impress me. So Kobe Claiborne, Logan Green, Reese Kirschman, Dawson Raperta really did a good job. And then I was really impressed with some of the guys that we played. We got a couple guys out that are our depth D-line. So honestly, I don't think anybody even knew that. But we're going to get a couple more defensive linemen back here real soon that are also difference makers. So that'll be fun.
What are you impressed by with Chase Mason and his debut? He's played before, but not starting and playing a full game like that.
I think he played awesome. He managed the game, 17 to 23. When you watch him throw it just looks different than most people. The quick release, the speed of and accuracy of the football that he threw was just really impressive. He knew where to go with the ball, and he didn't put the ball in harm's way. And I think he's even going to be more aggressive now that he just keeps getting reps and knowing when he can take his shots or let the ball go or throw it away. And I was really proud of him. I was impressed how he played.
Okay, you got Montana State, Coach. This is a team that's been a top-tier team in the FCS. We know that. They lose a great quarterback. They were heavy run. Now maybe a little bit different of a look. What did you notice against Oregon? Can you take anything away from, a 59-13 game that Montana State did?
No, not really. You can look at their players and watch them move around and get a little bit of a feel for their coordinators. But, I'm sure when that thing got out of hand, they weren't going to call any plays they wanted us to see. So I think they'll be different. They may throw it a little more, put the ball in the running back's hands a ton. Their quarterback can run. I mean, he's athletic, and he did not run a ton in that game. So I think they'll be a lot different versus us, really.
I want to see if they, if you think they're kind of they might do some quick hitters in the passing game. Last year it was, hey, we're going to run it most of the time, and we might throw a fade. Now it seems like maybe spreading it around a little bit. What do you see from the quarterback throwing it?
Yeah, he's really accurate, quick release, knows where he's going. He's got some talented receivers to get the ball to. So I think they'll open it up a little bit more, and they're going to go back to some of their old tricks, what they've done versus us in the past. I mean, they do a good job of play designing. Coach Vigen's really, really good offensive mind, and so he'll have them ready to go, and I know they got a new offensive coordinator, so a hair different, but, I think when they play versus us, it's going to look very similar to what they've done in the past.
We talk about the atmosphere at Dana Dykhouse. What about the atmosphere in Montana State Saturday night? What do you expect?
No, I played out there twice last year, and I know exactly what it's going to be like. It's going to be really loud. I mean, we're not going to be able to hear each other. I mean, you could be standing 2-3 yards away from somebody, and you're not going to hear them yelling at you. So I think, first, their crowd does a great job. They have shown to impact games. We're going to feed off of it. What else do you want? I mean, you work this hard, you're playing college football. I mean, I don't want to play in empty stadiums, so I want to play in places that are loud. I mean, that's fun. That's a lot of fun for a team like us to go in there and get an opportunity to go play our best football in a loud environment. I'd rather do it now than the first time it happens is on the road in the playoffs. So I think their crowd's awesome. They do a great job with their game day environment. Whoever runs their scoreboard and their music's phenomenal. So we're excited. I mean, I can't wait to get there and do it. I mean, I think it's going to be a really fun game.
I know your goals in this program are national championships, so I will say, how big is this non-conference game in the FCS big picture?
Yeah, I think it's just as big as any other game. I mean, you go win this game, people write things about you and rankings and all that, I guess. I mean, playoff seedings, but, I mean, what's it matter if you win this one and lose to Drake the next week, really? I mean, does it? I think every game on our schedule is equally important. I mean, we need to have, an urgency and understand who we're playing, but I want to play our best every week, and I'm not going to change how we prepare based off who we play or my urgency or my energy. That would be, to me, the wrong message to send to our team. So it's the next one. It is really important, and I know it's important for people that make decisions in the playoffs, but I mean, we have a playoff system for a reason. This is why great teams can play each other early in the year. This isn't going to make our season or break our season, which is it'd be a lot of fun to go in there and get the win, which we expect to do.
South Dakota State at Montana State. The Jack's head man, Dan Jackson, on South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. Coach, good luck to you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I'm going to walk you into our indoor here so you can hear some noise. We got field goals getting kicked, just so you guys.
All right. I love it.
We'll be ready for crowd noise.
I love
See you
it.
later, Nate.
I appreciate that. All right. I like that edge. I like that touch at the end. Coach still working, still putting in some time. A little kicking game action, wrapping up practice on the Nate Brown Show from South Dakota State. You can't get any better than that. See you later, Nate. All right. See you later. Dan Jackson, head coach, South Dakota State, at Montana State, FCS Showdown this weekend. We're back with who's hot and who's not, wrapping it up next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Be prepared for the unexpected and keep your home powered with Generac generators. Their home standby generators serve as an excellent backup plan in case of a power outage. Plus, they have advanced technology to automatically start within seconds of sensing a power loss. Save big on Generac generators. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha.